All right, everybody. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well on this Wednesday. And we are chilling right now. We are just basically waiting for the injury report later today. Hopefully, we learn some positive information. We're going to learn some stuff about the Seahawks and the Rams, get an idea of who might not be available on Sunday. Although, again, keep in mind that it is Wednesday, so anything you see is going to have to be taken with a grain of salt. But since we don't really have a lot going on right now, since things are relatively chill at the moment, I thought now would be a good time to come in here with another mock draft. I said I was going to try to do one a week for the rest of the year until we actually got to the draft at least. I think I missed it last week. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember, but no reason why we can't go ahead with one now. So this is going to be 4.0 for me, mock draft 4.0. We don't have a lot of picks, but let's see what we can do with them. All right, guys, before we go any further into this video, let's take a minute so I can tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using Sleeper this year for daily fantasy, then you are missing out. Download the app and get ready to have more fun with sports this year. Make all kinds of picks on over-unders. Get on over there. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever your sports fancy is. I've got some picks going for this week, the conference championship games. I got the over on Cooper Kupp, 30.5 receiving yards. I got Ken Walker scoring an anytime touchdown. I got Mevis over on the Rams kicking at least 2 field goals. And I got Drake May with the under on 227 passing yards. So get on over to Sleeper. Use promo code SBN, that is SBN, to get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 and go have more fun with sports this year. All right, so again, we got 4 picks, and as I've said before, I am pretty darn open to the Seahawks trading the picks they have for veteran players because I don't think this draft class is very good, but I'm not really going to get into that. So this is going to be no trades. I don't want to open up that can of worms because if you start doing trades, then you end up sculpting and cultivating this absolutely perfect image of what you think the draft should be. And I feel like you get a little too much freedom at that point, right? So we're just going to go ahead and go with the picks as they are currently expected to be distributed. We are going based off the order on Tankathon, by the way. So let's get into it. We're going to be leading off with, this is a popular one for a lot of Seahawks fans. We're going to start off with Gennings Dunker, the offensive lineman from Iowa, currently playing right tackle, probably plays right guard in the NFL. So this is our first rounder. Now, Gennings Dunker, if you want to improve the offensive line in the draft this offseason, this is the only thing you can realistically do. This is a bad interior line offensive draft. Nobody you draft is going to be an immediate improvement over Jalen Sundell at center. And I don't think any of the right guards that you can get are going to be immediate improvements on Anthony Bradford, except for Dunker. And if you want to get Dunker, you probably do have to spend that first round pick on him. So it is something that is atypical. It's something that I typically would not do. I'm a little more open to it right now because the Seahawks don't have a ton of holes as a team right now. And at the end of the day, I think that getting a rookie upgrade over our current right guard would be a boon. Generally speaking, I would not be amenable to spending a first round pick on a right guard because I don't think the position is important enough to justify it. But because of this draft class, because of the situation of the team, I'm okay with it. Now, the problem here is that Dunker plays tackle in college. There is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him to go to right guard, but I don't think that learning curve would be terrible. I think that you might see something similar to what Gray Zabel went through, where Zabel earlier in the year, for maybe the first 3 months of the year, was not very good, or at the very least heavily flawed. And and then by the time you got to what was it? Maybe December, mid-December, going on to January, he had kind of found his footing. So maybe those first few months, Dunker would be about as good as Bradford without the highs and lows. And then by the time you get to the end of the 2026 season, you'd have an upgrade over him, and he'd be younger, and he'd be under rookie control for a little bit longer. So Gennings Dunker, again, like I said, this is not something that I would typically do, but in this circumstance, I think it's okay. So that's my first round pick. My second round pick, this is obviously informed by recent events. I'm going with Jonah Coleman, the running back from the Washington Huskies. I don't think I really need to explain why this one makes sense to me. Jonah Coleman, he runs with a lot of power. He runs with a lot of pop. He is a logical replacement for a guy like Zach Charbonnet. And Charbonnet, remember, next year is the final year of his rookie deal. We don't know how much he's going to give to the Seahawks, not just next year, but ever. So you might need to think about replacing Zach Charbonnet now, not later. So Jonah Coleman, I think, would provide a skill set that is akin to what you get from Charbonnet. And assuming we keep Walker, because now I feel like this team is obligated to keep Walker because of the situation with Charbonnet, and you have Jonah Coleman, you have your 1-2 punch again. And you can get done what you need to get done with that 1-2 punch. And you can kind of do the same thing that you did in 2025 with Walker and Charbonnet. So Coleman, I think, would be a great second round pick at this point. The Jadarian Price guy from Notre Dame is actually also a really good candidate for this kind of stuff. He plays a little like Charbonnet. So if you keep Walker, you can kind of just keep the line moving with these second round running backs. Third round pick, we are going with an edge rusher, and it's definitely one of those. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Phone rang. But third round pick, we got Gabe Yakas of Illinois, the edge rusher. I'm not going to harbor any illusions of him showing up as a rookie and being some great starter for us. But if we do not do the Max Crosby thing, and again, I want to stress, I'm very interested in doing the Max Crosby thing. But if we don't, then I do think we're going to have to go through some pretty significant measures to refill the edge room, because I don't know what's going to happen with Nwosu, and I think Maffei's probably gone. So therefore, you got to do something. You got to at least start the process. I'm not thrilled about the idea of leaning at all on a rookie edge rusher, but Gabe Yakas of Illinois, great fit for a 3-4, great athlete, somebody who I think is going to be a good fit for McDonald's scheme as more of a pure pass rusher. I think he's going to be somebody that plays really well in a group with guys like DeMarcus Lawrence and Derek Hall. And hopefully by year 2, year 3, he becomes a really good player. I'm a fan of Yakas. I've talked about him a lot this year. So he would be, I think, a really good third round pick in this circumstance. And you would probably need to go spend some money on edge rusher and free agency to bring this all together, or you bring back Nwosu and hope he's got one more good year for you. But Yakas would be kind of like your young fourth rotational edge coming off the bench here. And finally, we have our sixth round pick. This is going to be my final pick in this draft. Number 212 overall is Dane Key of Nebraska, wide receiver, big bodied, definitely somebody who can back shoulder stuff, definitely somebody who can out jump and out leap opposing defensive backs, uses his size well, and also provides special teams value. So that would be my sixth rounder. And that's it. That's all our picks. So I got nothing else to say here, but I think that this would be pretty good. You would get an immediate right guard replacement for Bradford, I think. I mean, Bradford is under contract next year. It would not shock me if there was a little bit of a learning curve for Dunker, but I do think you're at least getting a long-term, medium-term replacement for Bradford, because he's going to be a free agent in 2027. And Dunker, I think, would be the guy that you kind of plug in there for the foreseeable future at that point. And then you get a Charbonnet replacement. It's really unfortunate about Charbonnet, obviously, but we have to plan for a future without him at this point because the injury he had is so severe. And you're also trying to refill the edge room. It's not going to, I don't think you're going to be able to just take a third rounder and say you're good now at edge because of the guys you're likely to lose, but you might be able to kick the can down the road a little bit. It's not like Boye Mafe was great in 2025. And Dane Key, I mean, we're probably going to flip over the depth at the receiver spot this offseason. Bobo might be gone. Derek Young might be gone. I don't know what's going on with Cody White. So these are definitely guys that we might end up needing to replace. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think about this mock draft. And I'll make another video later. We'll do the injury report when it comes out. And everybody have a good rest of your day. Go Hawks.